Are you addicted to social media? Because I am going to confess I'm addicted to social media. At least I realize the extent of my addiction, because you can say, yeah, everyone's addicted to social media. But I had an epiphany over the weekend as to how deep and how lost and how I was in this complete trance of my online life for a long time now. And I have woken up slightly and I wanted to share this in a video while it still feels very raw and it feels really like something that I feel like needs to be said. So in this video, I will share with you a blog post that I have written, which I think encapsulates some really deep, raw feelings I had over this whole social media stuff. And then I will list the ways that social media is really detrimental to me, the ways that social media has really benefited my life because it's not just black and white, right? And then the new boundaries I want to set for myself with intention of how I want to live my life alongside social media from now on. So if you're interested to hear all of this, it's a really vulnerable, really heart-bearing video, this one. Please join me. I'll be painting a little painting while I talk because it can be a little bit confronting to do the whole thing face to face for this one. So let's dive right into it. So I'm going to read the blog post that I wrote a couple of days ago, and it's called "Social Media Was the Third Party in Our Lives." I had an epiphany over the weekend. I realized I have been in a trance. My online social media life was taking over everything. I was getting the constant positive dopamine hits multiple times a day. I was hooked. It was worse than crack cocaine, which I've never been addicted to, but that's what they say, right? It was, and I didn't and couldn't let go. On Saturday night, I had some friends over, and there was a moment I was feeling slightly anxious after a couple of drinks, and I just retreated into my room for a little breather and found myself instantly seeking for my phone. I was seeking the comfort of my Instagram home screen, seeing how much likes I have gotten from my latest post, trying to read if there were any new comments. And if there were positive, lovely comments, I would get a nice buzz and a kick from it. The pretty art I made was fueling my popularity and growth online, all of which I thought was a good thing. Until now, I saw behind the false facade of this ridiculous online world I had built myself into. I realized how I was pushing myself away from my family, my kids, my friends, so I could concentrate and live more inside my online world. It was a scary and dark thought that one day, very close, if I keep at this, I will lose the people real in my life and then end up being all alone. Grasping for these people who are not here in flesh and blood, and only I know them as their handles on their social media account. This was huge, and it just shook me to the core, because ever since my Insta followers started to grow steadily beyond 1K, maybe about 2 years ago, I was hooked. I was drip-fed this daily dose of social media positivity. When I started YouTube, this escalated even more. People could hear my voice, told me they resonated with me, learned from me, was inspired by me. It fed my ego, and I didn't want it to stop. I began neglecting my own relationships. I didn't want to look into the cracks of my own marriage because I had this wonderful painkiller that was inserted into my veins, my phone, my followers, the comments, the love, the adoration. Holy crap. And the scary thing was that up till now, I thought this was the best thing that ever happened to me. You know, we all seek that sense of recognition, the acknowledgement of how wonderful we are. I am finally happy, I thought. I was doing what I love. I woke up every day with a passion to push my business ahead, to learn new things from people who have all taken this path. It seemed super positive and wonderful. And no one said it was bad anyway. Build your online community, they say. Increase engagement and you will see the rewards. But oh no, how it hooks you, and it hooks you so bad that you can't step away. I almost feel in envy of people who have not stumbled on this Insta fame because they are living their one life here and now. And even in this messy and difficult life, the work we do to unravel it is really important. I was in that throes of figuring out life for ages, and yes, it was tough, it was real. The first thing I needed to do was to assess how to move forward with my art with less social media, because my art has been intertwined with social media since the very beginning. Would I delete my accounts? I don't think so, because I feel like I still need them. But I know that maybe I just won't be so focused on follower growth anymore. I am not sure. But I think I just need a bit of distance. Distance is the word, and distance and authentically following what brings me most nourishment to keep me leaning into knowing what's most important. So that was the blog. That was what I wrote just a couple of days after the weekend epiphany, and ever since I have been hanging on Instagram a lot less, and I've just been looking at my YouTube stats a lot less as well. But I knew I wanted to make a video. I knew that I didn't want to give everything up because it took me so long to build to where I am. I just knew I needed boundaries. I needed new boundaries for myself, for people, for my family, the people around me. So I made a list of ways that social media has been bad for me, a list of the things that social media has been good for me, and what my boundaries will look like now. So let me share that with you. All right, I've already said a lot of this, but I'll just list it down. Number one, the addictive nature has taken me away from my family and friends in real life, right? This dopamine hit that I get all the time makes me feel like I don't need my family and friends. I ignore my kids. When they are home from school, I let them be on their own devices a lot longer than I should because it's, convenient. Then I can start to hang out with my online friends. And that's just crazy because your family and friends in your real life, they are there for you, they are real. And it's just taking me away a lot from my real friends. And even the friends that I have here in my community, I just feel like I don't call them out as often. I don't initiate walks and cafe catch-ups anymore because I feel like I don't have time for them because I have all my friends online. That's crazy. Secondly is it sets a bad example to my own kids in terms of how to manage their time on their devices. So my kids are 8 and 11, they're boys. And for them, they have had a taste of Minecraft and FIFA and all these little games that are designed to hook you in, to get you to check the app, all the time to make sure, unlocking new players, so on and so forth. And it was just getting crazy. They would rush home from school and beg to go on the iPad. So this was bad. And I didn't set a good example because I was checking my apps all the time as well. The third thing is I have a super short attention span now. I can't read a book or sit to even watch an entire movie with my kids without checking the phone at least once or twice. It's just so bad. That's bad. I really want to stop that. I want to be able to be in the present and do the one thing that I'm doing instead of trying to do everything at the same time. Despite all advice, I do check it first thing in the morning and the last thing at night. I have been doing that. I know it's bad. It comes into the bedroom. That's just bad. It's terrible. Number 5, when I close my eyes, sometimes I actually see my Instagram home screen. I see the YouTube home screen. I see the conversations and the comments. The conversations that happen inside my head sometimes are the ones that I'm having on Insta DMs with my friends there online. And that is scary. Number 6, I'm constantly seeking that approval, that like, that comment, that tells me what a great painter I am, what a great artist I am, what a beautiful piece of work that I have posted, on YouTube, what a great teacher I am. I am hooked on that I'm hooked on it constantly. I need to be fed it. It's just, unhealthy. And because of that, as I said before, I don't seek the approval of my own friends anymore. because that basket's already filled. You know, it's filled with this continuous stream of adoration and love and yeah, and because it's from my art, it's something that I love doing. It makes it feel real. You know what I mean? It's like people are not saying that I'm beautiful or I am something that's more superficial than that. It's something that is close to my heart, I feel, and I care strongly about. I think that's what makes it really blurry, the lines between what's good and what is bad, right? Okay, I'm gonna list now ways that social media has been good for me. Okay, so number one, it's made me super consistent in my art practice. That's the truth. Because of Instagram, there are days when I don't feel like painting, but I will, because there's an accountability that I need to post something. And because of this, I've progressed this quickly and I've made art into a daily practice. It's actually really awesome. Number two, it fuels my passion for sharing and communicating and expressing. So I'm a natural communicator and expresser. Okay, I'm a performer. I love to write. I love to share. I love to just, everything that's going on inside, I need to express. That's my creativity. So with social media and Instagram, it's so wonderful because, you know, I don't need a publisher to publish a book. Everything is just there. I can share every day, and I love it. I love that it's a medium for me to share, like what I'm doing right now with this YouTube video. I'm sharing. Number three, it's helped me with business. It's helped me make some money with my art. I had an Etsy account where I sold original paintings and commissions, and without Instagram and my following, there was no way I was going to sell anything on Etsy. I mean, there was, but it's just a lot harder. So, you know, social media is helping me to launch my art career. So I am totally grateful for that. Number four, it helps me get so much inspiration from all these amazing artists all over the world. Like, I'm sure you know what I mean. Like, if you're in this art social media world, you get to discover new artists, get inspired by them, and then you get to, you know, have a bit of everything into your own work. And I can never grow as deeply without this. Number five, the connection with people on the same journey has been incredible. I mean, I love my real friends and family, but they're not going through the same thing. They're not obsessed with art and flowers the way I am. You know what I mean? It's so nice to find all these people who are loving the same thing, and we are just like in a club. It's what you do when you join a club in real life, where everyone is into one thing. But this club just happens to be all around the world, internationally, and so huge. And of course, number six, the validation, the confidence it's given me to boost my confidence even more, to really believe in myself as an artist. Finally, let's talk about, I've come up with 4 ways that I will now try my best to have boundaries that I will have in the way I interact and engage with social media. And these are the 4 ways. Number 1, I had a really important talk with my kids and husband over the weekend, and we all agreed that we're not going to touch our devices and phones during the weekdays when we are having family time. So the moment they come back from school till they go to bed, I do not touch my Instagram or YouTube app. They don't have their devices, and we are all present with each other. They could be doing their own thing. We don't have to be engaging, but I will read a book instead of looking at my screen. I will do chores and we'll play together. And we've already been starting to do that. We're having this Monopoly, never-ending Monopoly game that's gone over like 4 days now, every day when they come back from school. And I've never felt so connected with them, you know, in such a long time. Sorry. Having a bit of emotional, I do get emotional when it comes to the children, because I feel like I have been, if I'm not careful, I'll just let them slip away and grow old, even though I'm just right here. Okay. The second point, the second new thing I want to do now is I want to really start reading books again. You know, books is an escape to another world, but there's just something about it that will harness more of attention span. You get to dive deep into one world for a long time and follow the author into a journey and not be so disparate and short and flippant like how most social media is. So I've already bought a couple of books I wanted to read online. I've looked in my Kindle. I realized there are a bunch of books that I bought and not read. And I have gone to the library. I will go to the library more often with my children to get more books. Thirdly, this is a big one. And this became really clear to me. I will not attempt to grow or nurture my online community. There, I said it. Okay, I'm not going to attempt to grow or nurture my community. So I apologize. I'm sorry, people, if you're reading this and you're feeling offended and you feel like I'm not going to talk to you anymore. It's not that I don't want to, it's I'm drawn into it. I love getting into it and, responding to comments, having conversations and have deep shares with all of you. But it just got a bit too much because when you get to a point where there's just so much of it, you are in my heads at night when I sleep. When I close my eyes, I hear these conversations and I'm there with you, not here in my real world, with my real children, with my husband, who's loving and sweet and kind and being so patient with all of this. I won't be nurturing my community or trying to grow it online. It says it's no good for the algorithm and I might lose followers or definitely have a much slower growth, but so be it. This is true because I will post and I will ghost more. Post and ghost, I love that term. That's not to say I'm never going to ever respond to comment, but I'm going to pick and choose and I'm going to be truly present when I do it and I cannot spread myself so thin anymore. So yeah, that means my whole business model and how I grow as an artist cannot rely on this solely. And that's a big thing for me to need to reckon with and figure out. Finally, I'm also going to try to not post every single minute detail of my behind the scenes on Instagram stories. Although they say we should because there's so many conversations that start there and I love it. I love it that I show behind the scenes and people are curious. But I feel compelled to answer everyone and having these multiple conversations. And I still find this hard because I do want to post. I just, like I said, I'm a natural sharer. I love sharing. But maybe I will just be posting and ghosting on stories too. I'm not sure. I don't know. So yes, those are the things I'm going to be doing to get more boundaries around social media. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that little conversation, that little painting that I did. I'm really curious to know if you think what I'm shared with you guys is so out of touch and so ridiculous because not everyone has this problem of like a lot of followers and trying to maintain an online community and all that stuff, and that I should be grateful for all the things that I have right now and my problem is not a real problem. I love to hear if you think that, and I can take it, it's okay. I am just coming into a new phase of me being me. I want to really show up here authentically and to not be too strategic and businessy about stuff and following a certain formula to how I show up and post because, like I said, I just naturally want to be myself. And yeah, in any case, let me know what you think of this video. Leave me a comment, not because you want to hear a response from me, but I just curious to know if you resonate with any of it at all. And yes, I hope you enjoyed this video and this outro is not too long and draggy. I'll see you in the next one.